Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Lovers. Does not mean it's a love reading. Let me just say that off the bat. I know some of you come here and you say, no, love reading, I want out. Not for me. Yes, the Lovers does not always indicate love in the romantic form, but unity in some aspect of your life, okay? So, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Oh yes, look at that. We have this beautiful satyr. Right here you can see the head, the little horn, the body, and the kind of goat legs. We have a fire going right here. And it looks like we have a person. They seem much larger than that satyr, though. I was going to say maybe it's a human, but kind of almost seems like an animal as well, or a humanoid animal. Now, we also have another satyr over here, actually. And this one looks like it's kind of on the ground looking for something. Yeah, so I kind of almost, what it reads to me as, you've been searching for something. I feel like there's been a sense of your life just feeling kind of, I don't know, boring, right? Or things just getting kind of stale. The same old, sort of, you know? And it just, something to spice life up a little bit, to change things a little bit, to get out of the routine a little bit. And the satyrs, if you don't know what the satyrs are, they are forest spirits. They're like Pan, right? These are creatures of great indulgence, very primal, uninhibited, almost to the point, some of them, of destruction, of madness, okay? We know that there's kind of a dark side of Pan, kind of so wrapped up in this state of bacchanalian, ecstatic madness, joy, glee, indulgence, that, he becomes kind of unhinged, a little too indulgent, spirals far, far out. And it's kind of the end of him, the ruin of him. And so, I don't see it as that here, but I do feel there's this sense of wanting to relinquish a little bit of control in your life so that you can feel a little more free-spirited, so that you can kind of just let your hair down and, experience something in the now, something that feels good, that feels at least, more at ease. I know, we're talking to a Sagittarius. I know you've been working hard. You're always working hard. Sagittarius people are almost never off the clock, right? And so I feel like, this is a time maybe going on vacation, maybe finding some kind of retreat for yourself. I almost imagine maybe going to like some kind of festival or seeing music or whatever, something like this. Now, we do have the solstice coming up pretty soon. I know it's still like a month away, but it will be coming up quicker than you know, right? It just, next thing you know, snap your fingers and you're already there. And so maybe a time to set your intentions, to definitely partake in some kind of, festivities, enjoyment, maybe creating your own ritual or ceremony, having a dinner party, going to, like I said, a festival or music or a public ceremony. Even here, I live out in the middle of nowhere in the northern Midwest, and you'd think, nobody really gets up to things like this, but you'd be surprised. There are a lot of, even like Midsummer will be celebrated here. We have a lot of Swedish and German, Norwegian, and the like up in this area. So all kinds of things. Go looking. If you've never been to any kind of fertility or kind of the harvest. I know now if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be different. Maybe more of a harvest festival going into winter, right? Deep winter. But go looking. Go find something. Find something that speaks to you, or create something that speaks to you. Now I feel like we have a person over here and we have a person over here. We also have kind of it looks like maybe 3 people, maybe 2 people, but coming together and kind of putting their hands together. It looks like there are hearts. And I do imagine this kind of coming together in a way to build something up, right? I feel like these 2 are working on this, whatever they're building here in the middle. It looks like a tree, but it also looks like kind of, helping people up the hill, or kind of building up this, maybe quite literally building something, a building or a house, or almost a community maybe. Putting together a party or something like this. I don't know. But the thing for me here is I feel like the lovers, the kind of merging of opposites. And, you can think of the sun and the moon kind of coming together to create the star. And so the star being a goal, right? A mutual goal being realized. And so, I feel like you are working together with maybe your partner, your spouse, your family member, a friend, somebody, something to do with work or the community, whatever it is. I feel that you've had a lot of success here in kind of sharing the load of the work. Where I feel like oftentimes, Sagittarius, you are kind of left to do things for yourself. A lot of people rely on you. They expect you to kind of pull the weight of, not just one other person, but probably a few, right? And in this situation, you're pleasantly surprised because I feel like there really is kind of teamwork happening here. And I feel like this is like such a refreshing feeling for you because, again, so often everything is kind of put on you. So I feel like there's this kind of lifting of spirits, and even though it's not, I don't know, I feel like you're always kind of reserved about who you trust or trusting in, people doing what they say they're going to do. I feel like in this situation, you are coming around more and more to this place of being more trusting. Okay, so this is, I think, a really big development for you. You know, it might not seem like it as I'm talking about it, but in reality, in practice, this is a big deal. It's a big deal to kind of feel supported, to feel heard, and, you know, your priorities, your needs, or your needs kind of being prioritized within this context, okay? And, you know, I think this motivates you to do more, ultimately, and to kind of aim for higher and higher goals. You know, when we're spending our life doing everything ourselves, yeah, we have dreams, but it's harder to achieve them. When we have, you know, the support that we really need, at least in some parts of our life, it does make it so much easier to get things done, right? So let's go ahead and keep kind of churning here. So we have a 2. Let's see. We have 2. W. It looks like W2. No. Yeah, it does. It looks like a W and a 2 here. We also have a person holding a bird that's kind of flying off. So, you know, again, this kind of, to me, speaks to this feeling of letting go of this need to, you know, tightly hold on, grasp at every little aspect of your life, and controlling the situation and being in charge of everything, and kind of letting it, you know, letting there be a little bit of freedom, letting spirit kind of step in there and assist you. Taking some time for yourself, right? That's the big thing, you know, for Sagittarius. It just, you more than any other sign, live a life of giving so much, giving so much of your time and energy to other people, even when they don't deserve it. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you do. But it kind of is in your nature to be a caretaker, be somebody who is helpful and of service. And I'm not saying you're a pushover or you let people walk all over you, but I feel like you just have such a great love for others. And you know, you're always like kind of the person that will do the thing. You know, somebody calls you up and says, hey, I'm moving this weekend. Do you have any plans? Now, most of us will have an excuse like on the ready. You know, we have a reason we can't show up, right? But you will make it happen. You'll be there. You'll figure it out, you know, and you'll show up. Now, I feel like there's just been this something. I don't know what it is. I feel like part of it is, yeah, finally getting into this place where you're being supported and there's other people like really fully like carrying their part of the work, you know, doing it, and you are seeing like, oh wow, this is another way to live and exist, right? But I think also something happening in your life where you're realizing that you can give and give and give. It will never be enough. There's never a time where you just, you know, you like hit the top and you're like, oh yes, I've filled, you know, I've filled this whatever full of all of the giving that I could ever give. And here I've done it, and that's enough. It doesn't happen that way. But I do feel that you are in a place where, yeah, your priorities are mattering more than they ever have. Your needs, your wants, realizing that saying no is not being mean. Saying no is not being a bad person. Saying no to things is taking care of you. You know, packing every single day with as many things as you can get done isn't always the way. You know, you need time to rest. You need time to do the stuff that you need to do in your life to take care of your stuff. Or do nothing. Just do nothing for no reason. Maybe you are rested, but you don't feel like doing anything today. And that's okay. You know? Once in a while having something like that. Even as I'm saying that, I'm imagining you being like, I can't remember the last day. I didn't do anything at all. Yeah, and you should be able to remember, right? You should have a day like that once in a while. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Now I'm looking at this and I want to see it in here. Okay, there we go. So we have a person, kind of, it looks like, I almost imagine sitting with a basket. Kind of reminds me of like sorting through green beans or some kind of, if you garden or cook, you know that your vegetables, sometimes you have to go through all of them and snap off the ends, or, peeling potatoes, or husking the corn, or whatever. I can imagine whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you do, there's like a repetition to it. And it's something that I almost feel like this is like a passed down thing from like grandma, mom, or grandpa or dad, somebody, right? Something that they would do, something that probably they learned as well from the family. And I think this is a time, one of the important times of your day where you sit and kind of contemplate. Now, this could even be like something like crocheting, or I'm trying to think like what else, I don't know. Woodworking, or I don't know, something with your hands. But it's a repetitive movement. So there's this kind of unlocking of the mind as we do things over and over and over again. And it gives you the space to kind of, contemplate, to muse, to ponder. And I feel like this is, I almost am thinking it's like you're like a philosopher. You think about just these most profound things, but I don't even know that you always share this with people. I think this is a part of yourself that you kind of keep put away. I don't even think that you necessarily find it to be very profound. You might just assume that everybody thinks about stuff like this. They don't. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. I've found that a lot of people don't, though. You know, you might surround yourself with people and things. You read books that, or, you know, you're on certain realms of the internet where it seems like everybody is, you know, pondering life and the meaning of life and you know, these deeper things. But no, not everybody does. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. Doesn't make us a better person or a lesser person for the things that we spend our time considering. But I think sometimes we just assume everybody else does the same kinds of things that we do. Or they think about the things that we do and so on. And it's not true. They don't. Some people don't. So, you know, I think this is important. It's important for you to make sure that you are having this time, because I feel like it is really a place where you become more and more developed as a being. And it's a place that I think is sacred to you. I think it's a place that when you have this time to think, to ponder, to contemplate, it makes life feel better in some way. Now, I don't mean ruminate about problems or anxiety, although, you know, sometimes that seeps in. But no, this is like thinking about things like, yeah, the meaning of life or whatever. I mean, you know, some of the big questions, the mysteries, right? And yeah, when we have those moments and we really, really get into them, when you kind of step out of them, you find yourself coming out of them, it changes how life feels. It changes our perception. And that's not always super lasting. That's why we need to have these sessions as often as we can, right? You know, same with meditation or active imagination. Same with intentional movement as well. That repetitive movement of, you know, walking, riding a bike, you know, doing different kinds of exercises. It's good for the mind. Also the body, but it's good for the mind. Oh, I thought I felt something on me crawling. The other day, and I talked about this in some of my other readings. The other day, I was getting ready to start doing my readings, and a tick fell out of my hair. Now, somebody left a comment on my on one of my readings telling me how to get nits out of my hair, which is like lice, right? The little eggs from lice, and get the little lices out. No, I did not have lice, although, you know, lice is something that happens. It's just nothing, I know that's kind of a thing that we don't like to admit, that we've had lice before, which I did when I was a kid, definitely. More than once. And also I have very thick hair, so it's a nightmare when you have, you know, it would take hours and hours to get it out. But no, I had a tick. And I have been I was beside myself that night. And now every time I feel something, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's another one on me. But I live out in the middle of nowhere, and we have kind of a lot of trees and foresty near water and stuff. So they are just... Yeah, I was freaked out. I'm very scared of getting Lyme disease. And I know it's like a low chances of it, but, you know, it's just one of those things. Okay, so we have 3 people of your life. I feel like these are like 3 good friends. And I kind of almost feel like there will be some kind of reunion coming up. Seeing one another. Now we also have a tree again. So I feel like there is this sense of... I feel like there's this sense of, I almost feel as you've gotten older, the dynamic has changed, of course, as it does with anybody. As we grow up and, you know, life happens. But I think in this time, when you come together with these people, there will be kind of almost this connection that happens. It is a renewal or a remembering into a renewal. Feeling like you did when you were young. Feeling open and unburdened and laughing and crying and being able to say things that, you know, as an adult, even when you have close friends, I think so often it's like we speak our truth up to a point, because there's so much, you know, there's so many things like, you know, guilt, you know, oh, my life is good. I have things easier than a lot of people I know or a lot of people in the world. You know, but I feel whatever it is, lonely, grieving, devastated, unfulfilled, whatever, anxiety, terror, whatever it is. But it's like you don't feel like you can say that. You can't tell, you know, your best friend who's gone through a divorce and her kids won't talk to her and, you know, whatever it is. Because you see, oh, my life is pretty good. It's together and I'm, you know, on paper doing well. But in my private, most inner thoughts, not so much. I'm struggling. And I think this happens, and these are just examples, but I think this happens a lot as we get older. We get low-key stoic about things. Gotta just deal with it. You know, I don't want to be the person that comes dumping all my problems on everybody all the time. You know, but then sometimes when, you know, all of the celestial bodies align in such a way and we're with people that we love and know us and we've known, you know, for lifetimes, we can, for a moment, say, I'm not doing great, right? Or maybe I am. Maybe I'm doing fantastically. You know, but I'm having financial issues, or I don't like where I live, or, you know, I'm burnt out from the kids, or, you know, whatever it might be. And I feel like this kind of situation where you're with people who you feel safe with, who you can talk to, coming soon. And so use that time. Enjoy that time. Let yourself be you. You know? And don't worry about, I don't know. For me, even when I do these readings, I talk about stuff, and I am private, really, in real life. I don't talk. I mean, most people I meet have no idea what I do for work or who I am, you know, who I am as a person or what I'm into, or, you know, they might think, okay, that girl, she dresses a little weird. Her whole family dresses a little strange, you know, for the area. But they don't know anything about our personal lives, really. And even the people who I consider family in my life don't know very much about, you know, my beliefs or my whatever, how I'm feeling day to day or whatever. Just because I'm kind of private about it. But I get on here and I talk about all kinds of stuff. And then sometimes I like stop the camera and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I have said all of that? Well, I do. And you know what? I feel better for it in the long run. And sometimes we just need that. We need a place where we can talk about things, you know. Also, like, shout out to other people who will, and a lot of you do too in the comments, and you are my heroes, because I feel like when we can share in a way that is real and it's authentic, I feel like it gives other people bravery to do the same. And there are a lot of people that need to say some things. You know, they just need to say whatever it is that they're carrying with them. And maybe they have nowhere else to say it, you know. So I adore and love you all that are on here being open and brave. Now, that's not to say you have to be, okay? I don't want people feeling like they have to say something about their life, and they don't want to, then don't. Please don't, you know. When you're ready, if ever. I still love you. I do. I love you just as much. But yes, being that sharer. And so, Sagittarius. Yeah, we're in a place of love. We're living that love life, right? I hope so. Self-love. Love of spirit. Agape. Yeah, yes. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to look at that, the Wild Offering Oracle, a 52 cards deck. Every time I read that, I don't know why it throws me off. A 52 cards deck on giving it all to God. But it doesn't even say cards deck. I guess I look at that in a little loop like that. Makes me think it's an S. It's a 52 card deck. All right, let's see. We're going to flip through here and stop where it feels right. Gratitude, yes. That's the secret sauce of life, gratitude. Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now, and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm, like the warmth of the sun. I love it. My last reading, I was just talking about what it feels like to go outside and feel that warm sun on you. Like a little lizard just crawling up on that warm rock. When I was a kid, I'm from Northern California. I grew up in East Sacramento, but I also lived up near Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe. And I also spent a lot of time camping during the summers and fishing and everything else. When I would see, there are a lot of little blue belly lizards all over the place. And you would see them just up on these big flat stones. And I went to the Feather River a lot. And the further you go up there towards Lawson and Shasta, Mount Shasta and stuff, it's just so gorgeous. I mean, it's paradise on earth. It's so beautiful. And yeah, I remember seeing those lizards and things. They'd crawl up there on the rocks and lay in the sun, and I'd get up on there and I'd lay in the sun and warm myself up from that cold, cold water. And yeah, nothing as divine as those kinds of moments. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you would like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. And good night.